Hey guys, so I figured I'd come back to you with another video. This time though, I'm gonna stick to the same theme of my setups, but this time I'm going to show you my panfish and trout setup. So I really like ultralights. This right here has been one of my favorites so far. It is a Okuma Ceymar C20 reel. I really like this because of how big the handle is. It's a smooth reel. I got 4-pound Trileen monofilament on here. And I got a Okuma celilo rod. This one right here is a 6-foot, 2 to 6 pound ultralight rod. Great rod. Super light, feels good in the hand. No complaints. So then up top, for the rig, I used trout magnet bobbers. This is just a green trout magnet bobber to a BB size split shot down to a tiny size 16 egg hook. Now I fish this rig with like single eggs, Atlas mics, single eggs, stuff like that. Now I also have another rod. This one is my rod that I really like using for panfish. This rod is a 7-foot Okuma celilo. I just don't have this rigged up because I was fishing for trout in a little bit of a smaller river, so I didn't want the longer rod. But this rod is sweet for throwing small pencil bobbers with flies under them. Throwing worms under a bobber, or just throwing out a jig. Just throwing a simple little 1/8 ounce jig with a, one of my favorite baits is a Berkley Gulp minnow in the 1-inch. Those things just catch fish everywhere. I mean, I haven't yet to find a body of water that I can't catch fish on those. They're awesome. Now another bait that I really like to fish with got tangled. Come on. There we go. Okay. Is this. It's a little Bass Pro Shops brand spinner. It's in like a rainbow trout color. It's a sweet little spinner. I think this weighs 1/32 of an ounce. The hook on it's kind of big, but it catches a lot of rock bass, and that's really what I'm using it for. But I also like fishing, hair jigs. Like, here's a simple hair jig that I tied. It's just a pluff of marabou. This is great for smallmouth as well. Smallmouth on these rods is super fun. There's one more bait that I really like to fish, but I don't think I actually have one right now. I think I broke them all off, the ones that I had. But a squirrel tail jig on a 1/80 ounce jig head. That is my bread and butter bait. If I had to pick, 2 baits to fish for the rest of my life, it would be a Berkley Gulp minnow and a 1/80 ounce jig head. 1/80 ounce squirrel tail jig. That's what I'd fish, straight up. I love them. The squirrel tail jig is actually what I caught my first smallmouth on. I caught it with a Eagle Claw, those Eagle Claw ultralights. They're like glass rods, and 2-pound line. Fishing for like panfish, but it's like a 6-foot rod, so I was holding it around this bush, and yeah, my buddy ended up hooking it for me. Or not hooking it, landing it for me. So that was pretty cool to catch. It was a pretty good smallmouth too. It was like 3 pounds. And then I've caught so many more smallmouth on those since then. But I mean, with this rig too, with this bobber, I also just fish a 1/80 ounce jig head below it instead of the hook. I just fish a 1/80 ounce jig head. With like a worm or something on it. Here in Michigan, we really have a couple different seasons where it's really good to fish for one thing or the other. You know, all winter long, I don't like ice fishing that much. I do it. I do it for pike. I like ice fishing for pike more than anything, just because it's fun to catch pike through the ice. But other than that, I'm mainly all steelhead fishing. You know, if there's open water, sometimes go throw some stuff for crappie. But in the springtime, then it goes to steelhead in the spring, of course. And then after steelhead, like when the lakes free or thaw, I'm on the water, you know, bluegill fishing, perch fishing, crappie fishing, smallmouth fishing. I do all that, you know, and it's fun. I mean, you don't have to use little bobbers like that. You can use slip bobbers like these. These are good bobbers for fishing minnows or leeches. You know, I also fish the rivers for trout all summer long too. Fly fishing, spin fishing. Yeah, I just really enjoy it. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. You don't have to get super complicated with pan fishing. But I will be coming to you guys with some further videos on pan fishing, hopefully later on this spring. And as the waters start to warm up here in a couple months and getting out and catching some big old bluegills. I have a couple spots where definitely go and catch probably, you know, a couple dozen rock bass and some nice sized bluegills. We're talking over 10 inches, so that'll definitely make a good video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you later.